Hello, my name is Nicholas. Thank you for checking out my video. I wanted to discuss a topic. Often this term is thrown around by people, healthcare professionals, if you want to call them that, in a negative sense. And it gets on my nerves because we're basically throwing a group under a train, so to speak, without really doing an assessment and really considering the individual in all things. The term I'm going to talk about is orthorexia. Some may confuse it for anorexia, but orthorexia can become anorexia depending on all things. So the definition basically is a person who has an interest or an obsession with, let's just say, eating pure or possibly being healthy. Because in this day and age, I don't blame people for being obsessed with knowing what ingredients, additives, whatever is in food. Just for an example, we have genetically modified ingredients that really has not gone under proper testing to know if it's safe for human consumption long term, or just ingredients like monosodium glutamate, high fructose corn syrup. There's research that has come out on that, and we know now that some of these things are not healthy for the human body. If you want to look at it when it comes to digestive health or even your blood lipid profile. It's interesting how these things work in the body. So for a person to say, hey, I want to know what's in my food, I really don't look at that as something that's negative. It's the way the person goes about as a whole that could make it negative. And that's why you look at how a person changes over time. Now, the discussion is it healthy for a person to say, hey, I want to change up my lifestyle, possibly go plant-based or paleo, whatever. Is it healthy? And there is no one answer for that, really. And I know this may come off as offensive for some of you watching, but it seems to me to be physically healthy anymore, to have a decent physique, if you have one, it's like, let's stone that person, because we all, it seems, if you look at the statistics or the obesity epidemic and everything, it seems to be a negative thing to be physically in shape or doing something right for once. Don't you agree with that? It seems to me like no matter what health-related course or seminar I sit in and listen, it seems like we just want to pick on people who are doing what we should be doing. You have all these people preaching about, you should eat healthy, you need to watch what you eat, and here you have people, a group, that are doing just that, but now we want to throw a label at them. You're too obsessed with your body fat percentage. You're too obsessed with going to the gym. Well, you know what? In this day and age, I think you should be a little bit concerned. Even for myself, I say, I really got to work out 30 minutes today. That's not a negative thing to be like or to do or to function. That's how you are naturally. It is natural to say, okay, I'm going to get up and work out and then maybe I should have sex later. To say these things anymore is like, oh, it's creepy, or you're obsessed, or you have this problem or that problem. And it's like, and then when you really look at the people who are saying all this stuff, saying that you have a problem, it's like, well, for my height and weight, I'm pretty good. My laboratory values indicate that I'm at a decent place. What are yours? And so I just think it's ridiculous. Now, I'm not here to say that people don't have a problem. Obviously, if we consider the factors and really look at a person, and I'm not just saying look at a person how they look, I'm talking about mentally and physically. There are certain indicators that will determine if a person truly has an issue. What I have an issue with is when people who are not only living a poor lifestyle, I don't even care if the person is holding or occupying a position in the field of health. If you are going to criticize people without really even taking the time to assess, and you're going to come to a conclusion before even assessing the person, you are the person with the issue. Not Johnny or Brittany or Jennifer, who is living a lifestyle and having a decent life while doing it. I take my hat off to those people. So sure, I do have an issue with people throwing out these labels. It's just mean, and it really says a lot about the person who's talking that type of shit. So I want to know what you guys, ladies, think. What do you think about this? If I go on anymore, I'm going to say some nasty things, so I don't want to stoop to that level. I don't know.